And, well, this series just got a whole lot more interesting. Welcome back into our NBA TV studios. This is Playoff Central Live. I'm Kristen Ledlow. He's Ryan Hollins. Steve Smith is joining us as well. Smitty, let me start with you because there's going to be a lot that we will say, that will be said about what the Phoenix Suns did well, but we've got to start with Anthony Davis, who was questionable in this game initially with a knee injury and then didn't start in the second half because of that injury, but then was ruled out for the remainder of the game due to a groin injury. How important is he going to be moving forward in this series?
Well, everybody would love to see a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy both teams. You hate when you have to go into playoffs and everybody gets to nitpick if Anthony Davis was healthy. But if Chris Paul was healthy when they were losing, that was the narrative. You wish for him to hurry up in recovery. You hope it's not serious for him. I felt the passion in Chris Paul. Here's a guy who's been in the league forever. He wants to win a championship, and he's doing whatever it takes to get to a championship. So I'm all about the Phoenix Suns. They're undersized. They're underexperienced. Other than Chris Paul, they came out, Monty Williams, great game plan. They're doing what they're supposed to do.
Well, here's the truth, Smitty. You know, with or without Anthony Davis, the Suns outworked the Lakers tonight. You know, on the glass, Ayton was excellent rolling. Jay Crowder played the irritant role. Chris Paul commanded the game. Devin Booker didn't have to do too much. And honestly, that's scary for the Lakers. You know, Devin Booker didn't have to have a 30 or 40-point performance to try to match LeBron James or even Anthony Davis when he was on the floor. So if you're Phoenix, you got to be feeling confident. Obviously, you know, playoff basketball, Smitty, you know this better than I do. It's a dogfight, man. You know, everybody's got a nick, a bruise, an injury, and hopefully Anthony Davis can get out on the floor and play. But they got outworked tonight, and it looked like a team. And it's always tough to, I call these elimination games. You go up 3-1, that's an elimination game. So Phoenix understood, and they got it down to 2-2.
It's tough to quantify, though, Smitty, and I do want to get to that in just a moment. It's tough to quantify how important Anthony Davis is, but as you look at the stats, this fight for victory is presented by Modelo. We're going to look at the numbers between, well, games 1 and 4, which were losses, as opposed to games 2 and 3. These numbers, Anthony Davis's alone. Smitty, continue your thought.
Yeah, the reason what I was going to say is it's just like, you know, height, size, skills matter. If I'm going up a bigger guy like Ryan Hollins, you know what happens is Ryan Hollins gets down on the block. Everybody knows I'm smaller, he's stronger, so everybody's inching toward helping me. And if you're inching toward helping me, the closeout is going to be longer. Ryan Hollins catches in the post like Anthony Davis, smaller Jay Crowder. I love Jay Crowder, but I'm inching in. Now I got to fly back out to shooter. The closeout, that puts you in a bad situation. Then when I'm boxing out as a wing guy, I got to go help. Everything is go help. And then also Anthony Davis, because of his skill set, now he's on the outside. You got to help against the bigger guy, Ayton, because he has the skill set to go around. He's that good because he causes so many problems. It makes life easier for everybody else. Another guy I want to point out, Cameron Payne has played extremely well with Chris Paul in the game. Without Chris Paul, Monty Williams and that team, they made sure they have him with his confidence level at an all-time high. He's played extremely well.
I think one of the biggest challenges with Anthony Davis off the floor is, you know, you want to say, how are we going to match the scoring and rebounding efforts that he has? I think you just got to match it from an effort standpoint. And Smitty, you made a good point. You know, the Phoenix isn't the most talented team in the league, but they play together. They've got a cast of really good players and veteran guys. You know, you got to put respect on their name. But ultimately, if you're the Lakers, you're not going, you know, Kuzma, you got to give us 30. Kuzma, give me some rebounds, some steals, some loose ball, 50-50 balls. So, you know, to me, they lost the game tonight on 50-50 balls, effort, continuity, and the energy of the Phoenix Suns was created on the defensive end of the floor. That was the difference. So there's no player that's going to match what Anthony Davis can do, but I feel like if he can or can't play the next game, you guys got to come out. And you saw the missing element of KCP not playing because he's a guy who gets out and scraps and gets dirty while on the floor.
And unfortunately, injuries are going to be the continued narrative surrounding this series, because just days ago we were talking about this series' success lying in the hands of Chris Paul and his health. So let's talk a little bit more about what made him so successful in this game, because, again, he mentioned minutes before the game, he was told by Monty Williams he was not going to be able to play in this one. He, of course, pushed back, ended up playing, 31 minutes, 18 points, 9 assists in this one. But as we did say days ago, the success of the Suns is rising and falling on whether or not Chris is out there.
Absolutely. And Smitty, Chris, and I played with Chris Paul. Chris is one of the toughest competitors I've ever been around. I've been around, Garnett, Pierce, Jason. The ball handler, switch screens, and you got DeAndre Ayton rolling. Ayton understood, you know what, Chris, you're not going to be as aggressive on the offensive end. Booker, you're not going to be as aggressive, but if I can get some lobs, if I can seal big after my rolls, man, that was a huge difference. And when you see a guy like Chris Paul at his age step up and play when he isn't supposed to play, man, that's a battery in the back for the rest of the team.
I totally agree, Ryan. And I also want you to talk about DeAndre Ayton, because that's your specialty, the big man. The confidence this young man is having right now in this series. This is the big bad Lakers. He's a young guy, but today 6 of 8, 17 rebounds. I think this is scary because these young guys, we talked to Monty Williams about a week ago. I looked at it. I know Chris Paul, I know Devin Booker. Yes, Devin Booker's a young guy, but Mikal Bridges' confidence is going to another level. Ayton, young guy, confidence going to another level. I look at Cameron Johnson, Cameron Payne. Anytime you see a young guy, each time they play in the playoff games, it's like 4 games, Kristen. It's like 4 regular season games, and their confidence started to grow. Right now, all the Lakers and everything is out the window. It's the best of 3, and you're going back to Phoenix. It's a huge game, but I still go back to when you give young guys confidence and they're getting this experience, it's going to be tough for the Lakers right now going up against this team because Ryan said it best. You can mark down they're going to play hard. It's just whether they're going to have to play well skill-wise. And today they outworked, just like what Ryan said, they outworked the Lakers.
I'm glad he brought up DeAndre Ayton because I want to hear your thoughts on him as well.
He's winning a mental edge. So much of playing the 4 to 5 or getting dirty down low is it's the mentality. And right now he's winning that game over Andre Drummond, who's an excellent player. But his footwork, he's attacking him. He's scoring big and he's taking up space. And Smitty, you brought it up. For those guards and those wings, they don't want to have to help on the roll. Once you start tagging on the roll, that's Devin Booker on the weak side. That's Payne on the weak side. Okay, so Andre Drummond not having it, being able to guard him. Then you go to Gasol, who doesn't have the same. He's not as fast a foot as he was in the past. That's a real struggle. But Ayton rolling down the middle of the Lakers defense without JaVale McGee or Dwight Howard, who are excellent last year and cleaned a lot of paint, is a weakness for the Lakers. And Smitty, we talked about it all season long. This is an Achilles heel potentially for the Lakers.
It totally is. I mean, they're definitely totally. Marc Gasol, we love him, but he's getting old. I mean, that's the one thing is you start to look at it is I've always looked at it. I always wanted to run in big man because I play point guard a lot, Kristen, and I'm the first guy back, and I see that big man running. I got to tag, hold him up, and then sprint back out to my guy.
Yep.
And that's what Ryan talked about tagging. That's half court. That's also full court. Anytime I got to take up and tag him a little bit, that means touch him a little bit, and then that puts me at a disadvantage when my big guy is slight of athleticism. And Drummond, I think this is where he's going to have to make his mark right now. You have to get DeAndre Ayton in foul trouble some kind of way so you can have an advantage as a big for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Well, this series is now tied at 2 games apiece as the second-seeded Suns have tied things up against the reigning champion Lakers. Coach Monty Williams is sitting down to address the media now.
We're all concerned in how, if he couldn't play the way he wants to, how it would affect the team. And so my initial reaction was to sit him today because I was just worried about how he looked last game. And then we met again, and he was just like, Coach, look, let me start. And if I look a certain way, and you don't feel I'm looking like I normally do, then take me out, and we'll have to go a different direction. And so myself, him, and James, I don't know, we talked for about 20 minutes, I guess, before our team meeting. And we just had a meeting of the minds and just decided to trust the player in this situation. For me, as long as he's not going to hurt himself further and it won't hurt the team, then, we can come to a decision like we did today. And this is one of those situations that, I had to trust the player, trust our relationship from over the years. And it was an emotional conversation. To have to sit out in a game like this, you can imagine how we both felt. And it was something that I'd been thinking about for the past 48 whatever hours, and it came down to, him looking me in the eyes and saying, just trust me on this one, Coach. If I don't look the way you want me to, then take me out.
This is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and then Dwayne Rankin.
Given that, Monty, how surprised were you to see the Chris Paul that we saw today? Looked, I thought, better than he has since before the injury.
Well, that was the one thing that gave me a bit of confidence that he could do it when he came in and he showed me what he could do with his arm pregame. And this was stuff that he couldn't do the last couple of days, and especially in our last game. And so when I saw him do some things with his arm, Coach Willie Green took him out before the game, and they worked out. And that gave me more confidence. And with that being said, I had no idea he was going to be able to do what he did today, to be able to come off the screens and knock down shots. His passing was there, the instincts was there, the burst that we've seen this year wasn't as dynamic, but you could see it's coming back. And so I think that gave us and the team a lot of confidence.
Next is Dwayne Rankin with the Arizona Republic, and then Richard Science.
Yeah, Coach, just two things, just really quick. You said James, you're talking about James Jones, right?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure, because I heard him like, he's talking about James. Okay. Secondly, obviously Chris's impact was huge, and obviously Davis getting hurt was significant, but just your team overall, the defensive effort, getting out in transition, how much did those factors play into you guys winning today?
I mean, that's who we are. That's who we've been for our 2 years. We try to defend and we try to play with a great deal of pace and play in 0.5. And when we can get stops and get down the floor and the ball's just moving around the gym, don't know if it favors us, but that's how we like to play. And then we had guys step up and make shots today. And the other side of it is DA had 17 rebounds. That was a relentless attitude. We lost that battle by 1, but for him to have 17 boards in a game like this was huge for us.
Next up is going to be Richard Science with Fox 10, followed by Kellen Olson.
Yeah, Coach, you kind of talked about how there was an emotional conversation you had with Chris Paul. Can you speak to the emotions of a series like this, where the team gets up when they see Chris Paul get back to his old form, and then vice versa for the Lakers, seem to have some wind out of their sails when they have Anthony Davis come out in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, it's a roller coaster. When you're in the playoffs and you have time in between games, I mean, you can't even imagine the thought processes that go into, what's your rotation going to be like, how's it going to affect the team, making the right decision on who to fill those minutes for that particular player. There's a lot that goes on, and we just don't take health for granted, and we don't take the efforts that our guys put on the floor for granted. I just think that the playoffs bring you to your limits in a lot of ways, and that's how you grow. And you're watching our young team grow on the fly.
This is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Sierra Santos.
Hey, Monty, Jay was 2 of 20 from 3 coming into this game. We knew he was going to keep shooting. He had a huge game today. Just your thoughts on the way that he played and bounced back?
I mean, we just made a decision to just have a let-it-fly mentality. That was one of the things we talked about in pregame. We listed 4 things. We didn't even touch the film. We talked about how we want to play. And one of those categories was let it fly. And when you have that mentality, you put up with some shots you may not want in certain environments, but I think guys have to play free. We can't get to this moment and start to change our game, get tight, worry about the consequences. I wanted our guys to be free, and that was my message in one of the categories that they might not even remember, knowing our guys, but that's what we told them, and Jay took it to heart. He had a really good session yesterday shooting the ball. The day before that, he was a little down. Yesterday he came in, he had a better spirit, and today he let it fly, and it helped us win the game.
Next up is Sierra Santos with Fox 10, followed by Greg Moore.
You said over the weekend that you wanted your role players and your bench guys to come out and prove. What can you say about their performance today?
Well, I think, offensively, you don't necessarily see like a huge number, but defensively, I thought they were sound. I just thought the abandon we played with on defense, I thought the ability to get back into the paint and get hands on balls and get rebounds helped us, and that group was pretty good. They in a game like this, playing against that kind of team with the championship pedigree, you're going to make mistakes, but I thought even when the bench made mistakes tonight, they stayed with it, and it's huge for us to be able to bring those guys in and not have a drop-off in our juice and our energy.
We have time for 3 more. Next up is going to be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, and then Tristan Suso.
Hey, Coach, congratulations on the win. Thank you for fielding so many questions. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic, obviously. Hey, can you just assess for me, please, your team's toughness, intangibles, attitude, body language, and mostly poise, given how tense the game got at times today versus other games in the series?
Yeah, one of the things we said before the game, another category, we talked about being relentless, but it wasn't the type of relentless that you would think of. It was relentless with our energy and focus on the game and not all the extracurricular stuff that had been taking our attention and energy. And we just said we're going to have relentless focus, relentless poise. And even at the end where we had the game won, our guys were talking about the game. Don't say anything crazy, don't get caught up in any of the shenanigans, because we don't want to mess with the game. We respect our opponent. They deserve our attention and focus, and we have to give all of our energies to winning the game, and all the other stuff, we just have to leave it alone.
We have time for 2 more. Next is Tristan Suso with 12 News. Final question will be Melissa Rowland.
Hey, Monty, there's been a narrative kind of floating around since last game. I saw it pop up a little bit tonight, albeit mostly among Laker fans, but it's that the Suns are a dirty team. Knowing the character of your guys, your own character, do you feel the need to respond or defend the team from that kind of narrative?
I don't, and I'll never respond to narratives, because that's what they are. We know the kinds of guys that we've brought in. We know the kind of people and the integrity of our players and our organization, and we're not going to field it. Well, his diligence in how he goes about his work every day has inspired our guys. I mean, a lot of guys have changed how they work out, how they eat, just being around Chris. But then when you see him in a situation like this, where we were, close to sitting him down, and to be in that conversation, if our guys could have seen that conversation and seen the intention and the emotion that went into that conversation, it would have given us even more juice today. I had to look him in the eyes, he had to look me in the eyes, and we had to come to a decision, and James was right there, and we all just agreed to trust the player. And I have to trust his will and his experience and the things he's done over the course of his career. He's trained to be in these moments. And my final thought was, I don't want to be the one that takes that away from him. That was, the lasting thing that I was thinking about, like, who am I to take that away from him? He's worked his tail off for years to be in this moment, and I don't want to be the doofus coach to take that away.
Thank you very much for your time, Coach.
Yep.
Frank Vogel is at the podium answering questions about the Laker loss and Anthony Davis's health. Let's listen in.
Hey, Frank, what do you know about Anthony Davis at this point?
Yeah, he has a strained groin, and he's undergoing further medical evaluation, and we'll have more information tomorrow.
Was there any discussion at halftime of him playing, or was it clear that he was not going to be able to return?
It was not clear to me until into the third quarter that he was not going to return. He was undergoing evaluation. We knew that, and when I didn't see him come out to third quarter, we knew it was going to be a little more time. Yeah, we're looking to score the ball. And there's a lot of ways that we play. The personnel skill set of the guys we have out there. Obviously, a lot of it is through Bron. We played with the roller with Drum, looked for a spark with Trez. We spaced the floor with Mark, and we just didn't get enough offensive output in that second half.
Frank, prior to the groin for AD, what did you make of his 19 minutes in the first half?
Yeah, I thought he was laboring a little bit. He was saying that his knee was sore, but there was no way he was not going to play. And I thought he gave a heck of a run at it, trying to compete through pain. And then obviously he came out with the groin injury.
Let's just say he is at that level going into Game 5. Is that a go for you, or is it?
Yeah, we'll make all these decisions over the next couple of days.
Good.
Frank, what do you think you guys learned in that stretch in February and March when you did not have AD but did have LeBron? You struggled a little bit in those first games afterward, but then it seemed like you figured something out before LeBron had his own injury. How do you think it might look going forward if he's not in?
Yeah, when I competed against the Miami Heat and either Wade or Bosh was out and there was more touches for Bron, that wasn't always necessarily a good thing for my Pacers teams. So it's just going to be more opportunity for Bron, and obviously we need other guys to step up. Not one other guy, but everybody. It's got to be a group effort. We need contributions from everyone, and we did have a stretch like this where we played without AD that we'll draw on. To take us into Game 5 if AD's not available.
Hey Frank, touching a little bit more on that, you talked in the series about the formula of leaning on LeBron and AD on the offense and needing the role players to kind of be more defensively focused. Does that shift now? I mean, are you asking for more? Do you ask for the same things? How does that go mentally for your other guys?
Yeah, I mean, if all of our players, if they play within the system, they can execute and they can give offensive output. So, that's what we're going to ask of our guys. And obviously, you look at deeper into your bench, to see if if there's other guys that are more needed now with AD out, if he's out for Game 5, and you make those decisions accordingly.
Sorry, last question, Rashawn.
Hey, Coach. Obviously, AD very important to what you do. Chris Paul very important to what they do. How do you see the significance of that sort of play out in the third quarter with him not being able to come back out, but then Chris started to get going there for them as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it hurt us, and Chris competing through his injury, played his best game of the series. So. Obviously, that was the difference that third quarter.
And did you say there was going to be was there going to be any type of imaging tomorrow, like an MRI or anything like that?
He's undergoing further medical evaluation. I'll have more information tomorrow.
Thanks.
Marc Gasol added 10 points off.
Can you lean on those moments right now? And if so, what does that look like?
There's plenty of confidence that we have enough to win. Yeah. Without AD, that's not even a question for anybody in the locker room. So, obviously, you lose it in the moment of the game. That kind of can get your mind off track a little bit for some people. Hope it shouldn't, though. I don't know if that was the case, to be honest. I don't know if that was AD with AD or without AD. But we just got to keep playing. That's as simple as that.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
To Kyle Goon, please.
Hey, Mark, in that third quarter, you guys only scored 15 points. I was wondering, in your view, especially offensively, what happened? Were you guys sped up at all? What was the thing?
I think the opposite, right? We need to be a little more sped up offensively, have a little more pop. The ball is going to move better. Screener is going to be better. Separation from the action once the screen happens, whatever, if you show roll or pop or roll, whatever that you got to do, you have to do it at a pace where you're taking the lead and you kind of imposing your will on the game. The ball got to move a little faster. We got to run, to the spacing that we're looking for, and continue to make plays. You miss a couple shots, it doesn't matter. Next play, you got to get a stop, and that's how it should be. Whatever happens offensively, defensively, should not impact the next possession. So we're just gonna continue to be strong-minded and next play.
Jovan?
Hey, Mark. You guys obviously played about half the season without AD. So if it comes down to him missing potentially a game or so, what did you learn about the team during that stretch without him, and kind of the stylistic differences of when he's on the floor versus when he's off?
More movement. It's going to be probably more LeBron, which is not a bad thing by any means. More space for the rollers, more space for the drivers. But at the same time, defensively, it's such an important piece for us. He can do a lot of things defensively that no one else can do. But with communication, with effort, and being at the right place at the right time, we can do a lot more things defensively than we did tonight. And we need to continue to do those in order to win Game 5, which is the only thing that really matters right now.
Podium after dropping 17-7 for the Suns.
Yeah, Jay, just a couple of things, just real quick. First, obviously, the way the game ended, Game 3 ended, that wasn't true the way you wanted to go out. And then Coach talked about you really, dealing with the shooting and everything. But how nice was it to respond the way you did today, and then have that huge 3 where they could have cut to 5 and missed a layup. You get a 3 and you're up 10, basically under a minute and a half left.
Well, everything's been a little off kilter here because of our point guard, honestly. It's not an excuse. That's just us having to adjust on the fly, in a sense. And, my shots and things are coming different. Our offense is clicking different when he's not on the court. So we have to adjust and be prepared to play without him, even though we wanted him to play very badly, because you see what he can do. But it's just a matter of adjusting. I've been here before. I've been in slumps before, and I just stay even keel. Lean on my teammates, and that's what I want my teammates to do. That's what I want to be for my teammates. Someone they can lean on when things get tough, and my teammates are there for me throughout the first few games, and just got to stay even keel throughout this whole thing because it's a long series.
Next up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Jay, to what you just said about this being a long series, how'd you like the team's response in terms of getting back to the way you guys play on both ends of the floor?
Liked it a lot. That's what we have to do. Obviously, we had spurts there in the second half of last game that we took from that and just tried to amplify it for the whole game. And, just trying to do what we do on both ends of the court and play free, but at the same time have a game plan behind it. And I think we executed the game plan well, and we played together. And responded well. When those guys went on runs, I felt like we responded the right way, and that's what it's all about.
Next up is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Kirsten Sousa.
Jay, good to see you. Congratulations on the win, and to echo Dwayne, it was a huge shot at the end. I'd like to know about your responses to those little playoff moments, where guys are pushing and shoving and doing all that little stuff after the whistle, whatever. You guys seem to stand up differently today than you did in previous games. Can you tell me about that, please?
We've just been preaching poise. Playoff basketball sometimes may rattle you, may get you excited, may get you angry. You just got to stay even keel and stay poised. And we've been talking about it the past few days. Just have our poise. Trash talking, take it on the court, take it between the lines, and take it to them. Don't buy into all of the other stuff, all of the antics. Just continue to play hard, continue to stay focused, and play with poise. And I think we showed that today, especially when it's going to be scrums, it's going to be battles, it's going to be heated moments. But we got to stay even keel, and we got to have each other back and stay poised. And I think today we showed that.
Next up is Kirsten Sousa with 12 News, followed by Nick Kang.
Hey, Jay, just kind of going off of that, definitely showed a lot of poise tonight. But ever since Game 3, there's been a lot of comments and sort of a narrative that started that the Suns are a dirty team. And that's mostly coming from the Lakers sides of things. But just knowing the character of players and who you guys are, do you feel the need to defend yourselves from comments like that?
No, I don't feel like we need to respond to it. They have an opinion. That's their opinion. This is what it is. Obviously, we're playing the game to win the game. We're not trying to hurt anyone or do anything like that. But it's a physical style play. It's a physical brand of basketball that both teams are imposing their will on. So we're not complaining when they do stuff to us. But so we're just trying to play basketball at the end of the day. And we're just trying to play basketball, play with a physical mindset, and impose our will more times than they do.
Time for 3 more. Next up is Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, followed by Gina Mizell.
Jay, what kind of emotional impact do you think it had seeing Chris look a lot more like Chris Paul?
I mean, everything clicks a little better with 3 on the court and 3 being himself. That's vocally, that's him being vocal with our units. That's him making plays with the ball in his hands. And I feel like we feed off of that. Obviously, he's a big part of the puzzle, like I've been saying all year. He's a key part of our puzzle. So it's a little challenging when we don't have him doing things that he normally does. So it is what it is. We made it to this point. Hopefully, we got a few days to get home tonight, get some treatment, and get ready for Game 5. So it's definitely key that he's out there, monumental that he's out there for our unit, for our team.
Chris Paul, questionable ahead of this game, drops 18 points in 31 minutes, dishes 9 assists as well. Here he is.
Probably wasn't that tame a language in the conversation, but what was that like, and what point were you trying to really stress to them that, hey, let me play?
Just understand it was an afternoon game, and I have a couple more days of rest. That's the only way they say I can treat what's going on is to be rested. And so I'm just glad me and Coach got the relationship where we can have that conversation. And we talked about it. And I told the guys, I said, I don't know if it'll be 2 minutes, I don't know if it'll be 32 minutes, but I feel like I got to try to give you what I got.
Next up is Cameron Cox with 12 News, followed by Kellen Wilson.
How good did it feel to yell, "I'm back," after you hit that signature shot of yours?
I don't know if I yelled it or if Langston Galloway yelled it, but it felt good, man. You work all summer, all season to get here, and to not be able to give your team, what you want to give them, and to have them out there sort of guarding you, knowing you somewhat less than. It was good. It was a good feeling to just be out there and compete.
Next, we're going to go to Sierra Santos with Fox 10, followed by Greg Moore.
Did your body surprise you at all with the way it responded today? And how much do you appreciate the rest of your team getting so fired up when you start getting on a roll?
Man, I appreciate it. Somewhat surprised. I hadn't touched a basketball or anything since the last game. I just said I got arrested. So the first time shooting was a little bit right before the game and in the game. So our team is really a team. And Mikal Bridges said it after the game. We didn't have guys that miss a lot of games this season, so we're used to playing a certain way. And so if I'm not out there able to be me, then our team looks totally different. So I was just happy that I could help.
Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic. He'll be followed by Melissa Rowland.
Chris, good to see you. Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Congratulations on the win. For me, I noticed sometime in the second quarter, maybe that game could have gone either way. I feel like there were some reserves out there on the floor, and the Lakers started to push the leads a little bit. And you guys responded. And for me, that was when I was like, man, I think you guys are about to stand up a little bit differently. Did you have a moment where you kind of recognized that you guys were going to stand up differently today than you had in previous games?
Yeah, they made a little run there, and I was on the court, and I'm thinking to myself, never doubt myself, but I'm like, damn, it's on me. It's on me. I'm out here, and then Coach, I know what you're talking about. Coach subbed in Book and Jay. We made a few shots, and it was like, okay, we here, and then from there on, we started getting stops. Once I got a couple shots to fall, and we started playing with pace. We felt like we had it. There's going to be emotional plays. There's going to be arguing.
Next up is Melissa Rowland with Fox Sports, followed by Catherine Fitzgerald.
Chris, did you ever really consider today? And then also throughout the game, did your shoulders just start feeling better and better?
I don't know. Man, there was a lot of conversation before the game. After I talked to coach, them said, "Give me a minute." Went and called my brother and my team. Sort of talked about it. It's like, look, man, I went and talked to Book, talked to Jay, and I told him. I said, I don't know how long it's gonna be, but I told them. I said, if y'all feel like I'm out here looking like some trash, just tell me, and I get out. I get out. So I at least had to, like I said, see what I could do.
This is Captain Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic, and final question will be Nicole Jarena.
Chris, how are you feeling off this game physically?
I'm good. I'm good.
Final question is going to be Nicole Jarena from Puerto Rico.
Hi, Chris. Gracias for the win. I'm really happy because of your work. What is your balance with facing your friend Lebron for the first time in playoff at this point of the series?
It's crazy. I mean, we family, and all these years of playing against each other, basically cheering each other on throughout the playoffs. Like, he was in the East, I was in the West, you know, talking after playoff games and stuff all the time. It's different competing against each other, but probably nobody knows my game better than him, and same way with me knowing him. So it's fun to compete against each other.
98-88. They'd ultimately pull away to win at 100-92 to tie this series at 2 games apiece. Now, Game 5 is Tuesday at 10 on TNT. Don't miss it, as we've got a tied series. And Devin Booker is now addressing the media after 17 points in the Suns' win.
Hey, Book, someone in the building called you or caught you yelling, uh-oh, as Chris was hitting his back-to-back mid-range jumpers. What was it like for you to see Chris find that rhythm that he's been looking for through the injury?
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming with time. You know, if it's nothing structurally damaged, we knew that, you know, he needs some time. So, you know, I think that's what makes this win, you know, even bigger for us. But, you know, just having Chris out there and him being a threat and making plays for everybody and feeling more healthy is what we've been doing all year. You know, so that's what we're accustomed to. That's what we're used to. And he's leading us all the way through. So, you know, I'm happy to see him, you know, getting better, getting healthier by the second.
All right, up next is going to be Cody Cunningham from the Phoenix Suns, followed by Christos Saltas.
Okay. During the post-game interview, Chris said Phoenix was going to need you. Just how excited are you to return back home to Phoenix with this series all tied up, and what's your message for Suns fans?
The question broke up a little bit. I think you asked about coming back to Phoenix, 2-2.
Yeah, just with it all tied up, and just what's your message with like Suns fans and stuff?
I mean, I'm looking forward to it, man. I just hit my socials and said back to the desert. You know, I know we got an extra 5,000 in there from last game. And it's something we're really looking forward to. You know, it's the atmosphere that we've been around. It's the atmosphere that this organization and this fan base in this city's been waiting on. So, you know, the first 2 games, you know, it felt like it was full house already. You know, so with the addition of 5,000 more, I'm sure it's going to be jumping in there.
All right, next up is going to be Christos Saltas from Greece, followed by Dwayne Rankin.
Hey, Devin, great game. Congratulations on the win, first of all. My question to you is, what kind of inspiration for you is Chris Paul and the way that he leads on the court for your team? And what it means, that reaction, that response after the 2 straight losses against the Lakers?
What was the second question about? You said 2 straight losses?
About the way that you responded tonight after 2 straight losses against the Lakers.
I mean, I'm proud of our team. You know, we've had 2 days off, and we spent both days in the gym just decompressing and having conversation and, you know, not taking it too serious, you know, trying to keep our gym the same as it's been during the regular season. And I think that was really important for us, understanding that it's called the series for a reason. Every game has its own different personality. I think there's going to be highs and lows throughout. You know, there's going to be emotional plays. There's going to be arguing. There's going to be a lot of extra to it. But just having a quick memory, getting over your last loss and moving on to the next game. And I'm proud of our team for, you know, a lot of us, this being our first experience out there, you know, having the mental ability to do that.
Next up will be Dwayne Rankin from the Arizona Republic, followed by Kellen Olson.
Yeah, Devin, just two quick things. One, how do you sense this game can carry over into Game 5? And then two, getting contributions like you guys got today from Mikal and Jay, who hadn't been given that offensive production going into Game 4. What was that like seeing the other guys? I don't want to call them others in that sense, but you get what I'm saying, being able to play the way they did.
Yeah. That's what you need. It's the playoffs. You have to play well as a team to win. Big teams know your plays. They know what you've done all year. They know your first, second, and third option. So it comes down to just being able to play and having the correct spacing and executing. Them guys still, I've had confidence and, same with myself. I haven't shot the ball like I wanted, but you move on to the next play and you understand what the goal is. And, that's to win the game, no matter how the shots are going. Your next shot is the most important one. And Jay and Mikal stepped up big in that regard today. I think that's good energy moving into the next round.
Quick follow.
Sorry about that, Dwayne. Go ahead.
You're fine. No, Devin, obviously, much has always made an offense, but defensively, you guys were all over the place. LeBron had like 6 turnovers. What do you think you guys did well on that end to get this win?
I think we just play without fouling. The past couple games, there's been some calls that slowed down our game. If you're taking it out from the free throw, every possession, it gives them a chance to set their defense. So, just playing without fouling, getting the ball out and playing in transition, how we've been playing most of the year.
Next up is going to be Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, followed by Greg Moore.
Hey, Book, with the way they've been defending you in this series, it would be easy for a lot of guys in a game like today to force every single look you get, but you were still looking to get your teammates involved through point 5. How important was it for you to maintain that mentality despite the way, like you said, you've been shooting the ball so far?
Yeah, just, understanding what the defense is trying to do. If they're heavy shifts and have 2 or 3 people focus on the ball, we have a great team that can make other plays for other people. I think you've seen that with the big 3 that Mikal hit on the 3 late in the game. These guys are shifting all the way over to, the free throw line, trying to stop penetration. And that's fine with me. I'm fine with getting off the ball and trusting my teammates. We have some players over here and, I'm excited. We hit some big shots and created some big shots.
Next up will be Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic.
Thank you, Devin. Good to see you, man. Congratulations on the win. What was going through your mind, man? Midway through the second quarter, the Lakers started to make a little bit of a surge, and then you guys really pushed back. And for me watching it, I said, okay, it looks like the Suns are going to stand up differently today than they did in previous games. But what was going through your mind at that point?
Win the game. That's on my mind, the whole entire game. And understanding it's a long game. I understand it's the playoffs and it's very emotional, but you can see when the league gets to 5 to 10 either way, a lot of emotions come out, but just stay level. That's what we've been doing the whole season. There's 4 quarters for a reason. No game has ever ended at halftime. And just having an understanding of that, the next play mentality. And just control what you can control with the officials and, try to not put too much energy to them in that regard and move to the next play.
Our last question is going to be with Kirsten Schusel with 12 News.
Hey, Book. Wondering if you got any sense of the mental grind this series has been for Chris, just on any given night, not knowing how long he's going to play, what he's going to play like, et cetera.
It's contagious. Even when the injury first happened, seeing him on the ground and, seeing the emotion in his face, hearing the emotion in his voice, you understand somebody that's, put in, countless numbers of hours into his craft to, perform at this time and at this level. And, for something that he can't control to be holding him back, I know, has been bothering him. Just to see him progress every day, see his mental, his energy clean up. And today, I think every second or every minute, it's getting better. So just see him still keep his spirit high and relay those messages to us as a team. Being the leader that he is, it's contagious all the way through our team.
All right, thanks for the time, Book.
Appreciate y'all.
Got a tweet. JJ Watt, Suns, Game 5. I'll see you there.
Okay.
Cameron Payne also had 13 off the bench for the Suns, and he's addressing the media now.
Cameron, even as well as you played, you said that the team would look better with Chris out there. What do you think about the way he gutted it out and played the way the way he played today?
He was big time. Like I said before, man, the game's a lot easier when he's out there. We're a much better team. I mean, he been the quarterback the whole season, so it's always a blessing to have him out there with us. He shot the ball, man. That was a plus. He was able to find people. That was a plus. So I mean, it was just great to have him out there with us tonight.
This is Kellen Olson with Arizona Sports, and then Greg Moore.
Hey Cam, Monty said going into the game that he just had 4 bullet points up for you guys that were mostly getting back to the way you guys played. Do you feel like today you guys did just that?
For sure. We played fast. I mean, like I preach all the time, we need to play Phoenix Suns basketball. We did that today, and we got to win. We got to keep playing that way.
Next up is Greg Moore with the Arizona Republic, followed by Catherine Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I'm Greg Moore, Arizona Republic. Good to see you, man. What do you think of your team's reaction and standing up for themselves when the game got physical versus how it got, in previous games?
We kept our poise. We was locked in on the task at hand. We knew we had to get a win. No matter about the extra stuff, we had one mindset tonight, and we got to have that mindset every game going forward. Can't worry about the refs. Just got to worry about Phoenix Suns basketball and keep doing what we do. Keep doing what we've been doing all season.
Next up is Catherine Fitzgerald with the Arizona Republic, and then Gina Mizell.
Cam, the cameras had caught you and Chris Paul having a pretty long conversation pregame. I know earlier in the week you had said, regardless of how much he's playing, you're just always trying to listen and listen. What were some of those conversations ahead of today's game?
I don't know. I can't really say that. Besides the fact, man, he said I'm in tonight and I feel good. That's really about all he said. I ain't gonna go into detail on that. I'm sorry, Gina. I'm sorry.
Next up is Gina Mizell with Suns.com, and then Nick King.
No need to apologize to me. That was Catherine from the Republic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Catherine. I apologize for that.
No, you're all good. You're all good. Just the defensive effort that you guys had today, just what do you feel like the biggest keys were on that end of the floor?
We crashed the glass. We kept them off the line. I mean, we kind of packed the paint in today. Kept them off the offensive glass. I mean, they've been beating us up on the offensive glass. It seemed like whoever win the offensive rebound battle kind of wins. Whoever get the most free throws kind of wins. So we knew we had to make them shoot threes and pack the paint. Just had to keep them out the paint tonight.
Final 2 questions are Nick King with Channel 3, Channel 5, and Cameron Cox.
Yeah, I know after Game 3 there was talk about not coming out of half the way you guys wanted to with kind of the requisite energy. Completely different tonight. What did you see in that stretch, especially like the first 4 minutes of the third quarter?
Well, before the game, like you said, we wasn't doing too well coming in the half. That was one of our keys. We gotta be ready to play coming into halftime because the Lakers been doing a good job coming in the beginning of the third quarter, getting on the runs. So today, one of our keys was be ready at the beginning of the third quarter. We gotta hit first. We can't keep getting hit first. So we came out and did what we were supposed to do.
Final question is Cameron Cox with 12 News.
Hey Cam, DeAndre's played so great this series, but what's it like to see him roll to the rim like he was tonight, take the rim with him?
Oh, fantastic. It's great. Whenever DA gets going, it opens up the game for the guards. So, I mean, the fact that he rolls hard every time, it helps everyone out there on the court. He's been rolling all series, just getting behind the defenders in the pick and roll. And, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to keep doing that because that's where he's been eating. So keep rolling hard, and we going to find him. CC does a great job finding him.
I'm trying to get better, but he does a fantastic job finding them, and I'm just trying to learn. DA's been playing big, and he got to keep going.
Thank you for the time, Cameron.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Tonight's shot chart is presented by Mountain Dew, and this, unfortunately for the Lakers, their struggles from deep. 13 of 40 from three-point land, just 32.5%, Smitty. And we can talk a lot about injuries, but we're not going to because LeBron James is sitting down, and we're going to go to him live.
How you want to execute offensively and defensively. And, the one thing that you can't predict if one of your, focal points go down. And obviously, that was big for our team, and being able to try to adjust on the fly after having a game plan was challenging for us. And but more importantly, the health of AD is what's most important for our ball club.
Just with the uncertainty of him surrounding this going into Game 5, LeBron, how did you approach it as a leader with the rest of the group? And what is the key in the film room as you guys try to come up with some of the formula?
It's next man up. And obviously, if he's not ready for Game 5, it's going to be a tough blow for our ball club. But, next man up. And we've been like that all year. And, we're going to have to be like that in the hostile environment in Game 5.
Hey, LeBron, so the next man up obviously would be referring to who would take his place in the lineup. But if AD plays, and he's limited, or even if he doesn't play, how does your role, how does that fluctuate as the series moves forward?
We'll see. On Christmas Day in Golden State, and rehabbed until I was able to get back on the floor, and still wasn't where I was before I tore it. My first year with the Lakers. So I worked my tail off in the off season. Just to get back to, playing at unrestricted, level. So I can only speak from my experience. I'm not, like I said, I don't know the severity of his injury. And until we know, I'm not going to comment on it.
Dan?
Brian, what's it going to take for you guys offensively to get on track here? This has been kind of, 4 games now where the shot making hasn't been there. What are you seeing, and what needs to change?
Sometimes it's come down to knocking down shots. We're getting some great looks, and obviously I'm going to take a look at the film when I get back home after I wake up from a nap, but and see other ways maybe we can exploit their defense. But they're giving us some good looks, and we're just we're not knocking them down. So. We've had this, happen before in the past, and but we always trust each other. We're going to trust the pass, get the ball moving from side to side, and trust our shots, and get up there and knock them down.
Kyle.
Ryan, you had those plays in the first half, the spin move to the dunk, the lob off the backboard from AC. How are you feeling in that stretch, and does you kind of being able to physically get to that level kind of add with the frustration of a guy like AD going out in the second half? That just seems like this year, once you guys are getting it together, it's just something else happens.
I feel pretty good. Continue to work on my body, continue to work on my ankle, continue to work on my pace, and continue to work on everything that held me out for so long. Every day I'm putting in time as work on my body, especially my ankle, on just trying to get it back to full strength, and being able to test it out on the floor, it helps a lot. So, like I said, it's been a roller coaster for us all year, especially with injuries, and we hope this one isn't a big one. But like I said, it's next man up, and we look forward to the challenge.
I will take 4 more. Mark Medina.
LeBron, Frank was noting, his time in Indiana, that there were times when you were with Miami and Dwayne Wade or Chris Bosh would be out, and that meant that you'd have even more responsibilities, and that's obviously a dangerous scenario. I was wondering, to what extent do you draw from those experiences that it can apply to this current situation?
Listen, the best teacher of life is experience. So, me personally, I look forward to the challenge, whatever. However the hand is dealt, I'll be ready to play it.
Ramona.
LeBron, I say this as a 41-year-old, so I certainly don't mean to say that you're older, but at 36, you know, how wide are those shoulders still? Can you do this at this age and carry the team if AD's not able to be out there?
You know, for me, it's putting our team in position to be successful. It starts with my approach. It starts with my accountability. Trickles down to everybody else. So, you know, these shoulders was built for a reason, and you know, if it takes for me to put some more on top of it, then so be it. Win, lose, or draw. I'm ready for the challenge.
Last two, Yovan.
Hey, LeBron. You guys obviously played half the season without AD, so if it does go to that scenario, what did you learn about the team during that stretch of 4 games and some of the stylistic differences with AD on versus off?
Well, I'm trying not to even go back to that moment. Obviously, yes, like you said, we played half the season without them, but they also played extensive time without me. So, we would have to go back and look, how ways we were really good when he was out, and how we played. It would change our dynamic, obviously, of how we play. It would change our approach of how we play, and we just have a game plan and we go out and execute it.
Last question, Dwayne.
Yeah, LeBron, obviously a lot's made of AD being out, but you guys were right there. If Schroeder makes a layup, you guys only down 5 with about a minute and a half left. How much can you guys take from that finish to get to that point to carry over into Game 5?
Well, I mean, every possession needs to feel like it's your last. That's just what the playoff basketball is all about. And, 5-point swing right there. Like you said, Diaz makes that layup, which he's 99% of making a layup right there in front of the rim. He misses it. It kind of let the sails out of us. They go down. Jay Crowder hits a 3 by their bench. Timeout. The game is, pretty much over at that point. It was a quick 5-point swing. So we stuck with it. We stuck into it. We, kept on fighting back and got stops after stop after stop. Still made it a game, but they played well. I tip my hat to them. They came in. They played extremely well. And, it's going to be a big-time Game 5 come Tuesday. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Good night. Let's look ahead to Game 3. It's tied at 2 games apiece. It's Tuesday night at 10 Eastern on TNT. So before we wrap up our post-game coverage of this Game 4, I've got to ask each of you, if the Suns win Game 5, Ryan, what will have happened?
I think the one thing is their defense, their effort, their intensity is huge. They haven't found an answer yet for DeAndre Ayton. He's got to be a force in the middle. Obviously, the health of Chris Paul. But, Devin Booker didn't play great. He didn't have a monster performance. You've got to be concerned if you're the Lakers, because if he starts hitting more shots, you could be in some major trouble.
Smitty?
I totally agree with Ryan. I think also for the Phoenix Suns, if they can keep competing on the glass, also keep the Lakers off the free throw line. And they said it best in this press conference we heard over and over. We're going to pack it in. Lakers going to have to make shots. And if you're the Lakers, you got to understand that I'm not making shots. That doesn't say we can't win a game. I got to go play big boy basketball. We got to get offensive rebounds. We got to get in the paint, make it a little ugly. And we got to get to the free throw line, slow the game down if we're not knocking down threes, and use your size and get on the offensive glass.
Do you agree, Ryan? Those are the keys for the Lakers then?
Absolutely. The Lakers, this isn't the pretty polished point team that's going to score 130, 140 a night. They defend. They get dirty. They have to do those things. They're missing guys like KCP in the lineup. Even if it isn't Anthony Davis, the Lakers have to win the grit battle. I thought in Game 2 when they came out, it turned the tide. The Lakers were the grittier team. So if they're going to be successful, that's how they won a championship last year. Like I said, this wasn't a Golden State team running up and down. That's not how the Lakers play. They grind you out in the half court. So that's how they're going to have success.
Kristen,
yeah.
Ryan, I just want to add, LeBron said next man up if AD's not playing. We totally agree. But there's 2 guys, Dennis Schroeder and Kyle Kuzma. They're there. There's no next man up for them. Your time is now to have one of those games. And we're not talking about points. We all love points. You have to make a difference. Defensively, you're Dennis Schroeder. Kuzma, your size. Get on the glass. Rebound the basketball. There's more ways to impact a game than just scoring. And both guys got to do that.
Jay Crowder plus 21 tonight. We don't talk about his shooting. He was a plus 21 on the floor, and he was the huge difference for Phoenix.
See, this is why I ask for final thoughts before cutting everybody off and moving on with our night. We've got to get all of this in there as well. That will, though. All right, do it for our post-game coverage between the Suns and Lakers in Game 4. Again, that series now tied at 2 games apiece, but Playoff Central Live is going to continue right here on NBA TV all night long. There's a couple more games left on today's slate, so stay with us. For Steve Smith and Ryan Hollins, I'm Kristen Ledlow. We'll see you soon.